Hello and welcome here to Talking CP and welcome back to the channel here today as we're previewing the game in the Champions League on Tuesday night. Barcelona taking on Borussia Mönchengladbach live from the Camp Nou in what is effectively a dead rubber for Barcelona, but it is quite different to the usual game whereby we're top of our group, we're top of our Champions League group, we're progressed as group winners, everything for us in this group is done, there's no pressure, yet somehow this game still has importance in the team, and this is not as easy a decision for Luis Enrique for a team that you might expect. And basically what I mean by that is, this game before had no real emphasis on it. We thought, you know what, we've wrapped up the group, we can come into this game, rest a load of players, and then get back to normal service, normal duty on the weekend in La Liga. It's not quite turned out that way because of performances before this game. We've been inconsistent, we've had some bad results, and whereas before, if we came into this game on the back of a few wins and maybe lost or drew the game against Mönchengladbach because we were resting players, people will say, you know what, Barcelona, they're through anyway, it doesn't really matter. But right now, if we lose this game or even draw it and drop points, there's still going to be that negative energy, and that's certainly what we want to avoid doing. We need to start building some momentum. This game might not mean anything in terms of on paper, there's nothing really to play for here, but what we need to do is start winning and being consistent and building that momentum and certainly building the confidence again within the group, because I think in the second half of the Clásico, despite that really late and demoralising equaliser that Real Madrid put upon us, there was positivity there. There was a lot of things that we can be happy about, and certainly a lot of things that we can build on going into the next few weeks. So this game, even though it's effectively non-existent in terms of competitiveness for us, this is actually quite a big game in terms of starting to build that momentum and starting to get back winning consistently and regularly week in and game out. So going into this game, usually what I do is just preview both teams, have a look at what's at stake, but I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to actually go through the team that I would pick for this game, because like I said, there's a lot of things that Luis Enrique has got to consider. He's got to give people playing time, he's got to rotate the squad, but he's also got to try and put out a team here that's going to win the game. He still needs to try and get the team today and tomorrow's game that's going to win the game and, like I say, build that momentum. So he's got a really, really interesting choice. He's already confirmed that Lionel Messi will start the game tomorrow. He did that in today's press conference. But this is the team that I would go with. In goal, Jasper Cillessen. The reason for that is he doesn't usually play Champions League games. What I would do is like they say, at the end of the day, this is a game that we don't have to win. And I think that he deserves a game. He's not played an awful lot since joining. He suffered a little bit of an injury as well, just a few weeks ago. He's not done an awful lot wrong. Unfortunately for him, he had to play in that game that we lost to Alaves. He wasn't particularly brilliant in that game. But apart from that, Cillessen hasn't really had a lot to do. Another chance here to sort of prove himself, a little bit of experience for him in the Champions League, a big night for him. I would play him, I would give him a game, and I think Luis Enrique will probably elect to do that. Ter Stegen's been playing week in, week out for a while now, so certainly give Cillessen a shot. Left back, I would go with Lucas Digne simply because Jordi Alba recently has been far too injury prone to sort of risk him in this kind of game. Digne is a very, very decent replacement. He showed when Jordi Alba was injured that he was more than capable of stepping into his shoes. Maybe not as good going forward, maybe not as explosive as Jordi Alba. Certainly he's a decent player, Digne, and I would give him a run out in this game. And then right back, I'd go with Alex Vidal. I think Sergio Roberto in recent weeks is a little bit jaded. I think he's looked a little bit short of confidence at times. He looked very, very good parts of it in the Clásico, so I think he's possibly re-emerging in form, but I think right now he does need a bit of a rest. So I would certainly once again give Alex Vidal a few minutes. Another player that hasn't really had a lot of game time recently, played against Hercules in the week, and he possibly was at fault for their goal. His failure to close down the cross resulted in their goal, so possibly give him a run out. It might be a bit of a risk though. He's not had a lot of game time, he's not been playing at a brilliantly high level since he came into the club, but it might be worth resting Sergio Roberto, who has looked a little bit tired and a little bit lethargic in a few times the last time he's played. The centre-backs is an interesting one. I would certainly leave out Gerard Piqué, who again missed training today. So I think it's extremely unlikely that we're going to see Gerard Piqué tomorrow, simply because for the last few weeks, he obviously suffered an injury a few weeks ago, which, put him in contention to possibly miss the Clásico, miss the games against Real Sociedad, but he hasn't done that. Him being the soldier he is, he's sort of soldiered on, he's played through the pain barrier, and he's made sure that he's been available for the big games. This one isn't such, so I would certainly give him a rest, and I would give give Umtiti and Marlon some minutes. And certainly Marlon is a case in this situation that I think we should start him. He's a young player that came over from Brazil. He's not here on a permanent deal as of yet. We do have that option if it comes down to it. Unfortunately, due to registration errors on Barcelona's side and his personal side, he is ineligible to play in any Spanish competitions before the new year. So before 2017, he cannot play in La Liga and he cannot play in the Copa del Rey. So the Champions League really is his only chance to get some minutes. You saw him come on and making his debut against Celtic a few weeks ago, and I think he should get another chance here. I really do. And Titi's another one who played against Hercules last week, and he didn't quite play in the Clásico. I didn't feel he was quite 100% ready and 100% fit to really fit in that game. But Umtiti is one of those players that certainly, when he was fit at the start of the season, he was outstanding. He's settled brilliantly since coming in. I would probably say that he'd been our best signing of the summer so far, and I would give him a few minutes once again to get back to that match sharpness in the game tomorrow night. I think Busquets will play midfield. I think we saw the best of him in the Clásico, and he's certainly been trying to find that form for a few weeks now, and I think certainly now he's got it, we need to see that continue. But I wouldn't be surprised to see sort of Rakitic or Andre Gomez deployed in that deeper role to give Busquets a rest, but I would certainly keep him in there just to keep that confidence flowing. The same goes for Iniesta, the same for Umtiti. He needs to build some match sharpness. He needs to get back match fit. We saw him come on in the Clásico. It was incredible to see him back. I was so happy to see him back on the pitch after the spell that he had out. We've missed him so much, and it's great to see him back. So let's see him out on the pitch, give him a few more minutes. If he gets a bit tired, if he gets a little bit jaded out there, then bring him off, but at least give him a start, get him going again, ready for the game against Osasuna on the weekend. Alongside him in midfield, I would go with Rafinha. I think Rafinha surprisingly left out of the squad against Real Madrid, reasons unknown, but I think he's certainly had some very good games this season, playing primarily in that front three, but I think in midfield as well he's just as effective, and I think I would play him alongside Iniesta in that midfield trio. And then along the front three, like I said, Lionel Messi has already been confirmed starting the game. He can actually break the amount of goals scored in a group stage Champions League tournament if he scores against Mönchengladbach. He's currently on 9 goals, so he could break that record currently held by no other than Cristiano Ronaldo if he scores against Mönchengladbach. I would then go with Denis Suarez on the left-hand side. Neymar is suspended for this game, and not only this game, but Neymar is also suspended for the game coming up against Osasuna. So a really good chance for whoever gets their chance on this left-hand side to really make a mark. It'll either be Denis Suarez or it'll be Arda Turan taking their place in the front three. I personally would go with Denis Suarez. Give him a chance. He played on the left-hand side when he was at Villarreal last season. Give him the opportunity to go in there and do something good. What also might happen is Denis Suarez might drop into midfield, and Luis Enrique may deploy Arda Turan in a more advanced position, as we actually saw when Arda Turan came on in the reverse fixture of this game, when he scored an excellent goal in the last game against Mönchengladbach earlier on in the group stage. That was a vital win in Germany. And up front, here's the controversial inclusion. I would go with Paco Alcácer, and a lot of people have been criticising Alcácer for his career so far at Barcelona. I can understand the criticism. He's yet to score a goal in the Catalan colours, but I would give him a chance here. This is the perfect game for Alcácer. There's absolutely no pressure on it. He's going to come into this game knowing that we're already top of our group. All he's got to do is break that duck. He's got to score that goal. Once he does that, it'll be like a weight off his back, the drought will be over, and maybe things then will start to come a bit more naturally for him. I think people are expecting maybe a little bit too much from Alcácer. He's a player that is very much a penalty box player. He's a poacher. He's a number 9. He's going to rely on service. If he's not given the right kind of service, we're not going to see him be as effective as he can be. He's not a player that's going to come short and get involved in the build-up. He is a player that's going to play on the shoulder, a lot like David Villa in some ways. The fact that he's going to play very much on the shoulder and wait for those balls to come into the box to get on the end of them. And when he is in those positions, he's usually a very good finisher. That's why it's so surprising that he's yet to get off the mark. I think once he does, he might relax it a little bit more. It's a big step up for him from Valencia to Barcelona. Once he gets that first goal, we might see a more relaxed striker, and certainly when he is on form, when he is confident, he's an extremely good finisher, which is something that we do lack. We're not always that clinical. So I think if Paco Alcácer could get that first goal, he could actually become quite a valuable member of the squad, but it's just getting himself off the mark, and that is why I would start him tomorrow night. So Guys, let me know what you think. Let me know your ideal starting 11. Like I say, I based this video more around the starting 11 because I think it's really, really interesting to see what Luis Enrique does tomorrow. Because like I say, this was almost treated as a sort of dead rubber game. We'd already qualified. We're already top of our group. But this suddenly, due to our poor form in recent weeks, this game has become a lot more important about building that momentum and getting that confidence flowing and winning games again, playing well. So hopefully tomorrow night we see a good performance. Hopefully tomorrow night we see some goals. Paco Alcácer, it'd be amazing if he could get off the mark tomorrow night. I would like to see some good performances from the likes of Denis Suarez, Rafinha if he plays, Umtiti and Marlon if they get any time on the pitch. Interested to see how they do as well. And of course, we'll look forward as always to watching the likes of Iniesta and Messi out on the pitch, particularly Iniesta, who we've missed so much in recent weeks. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. What would be your starting 11, bearing in mind we've got to get that confidence going, but at the same time we may need to rest some players. We've got some very, very important games coming up in the league, and this one, at the end of the day, we don't actually need to win. So let me know below. I'll look forward to hearing from you. Really, really like all your comments, guys. Keep them coming. I'll see you very, very soon following tomorrow night's game. Until then, though, as always, Vesca el Barça.